What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're dropping a video on the battle of the real SC, as they say. We had USC versus South Carolina. Let's jump into the top performers of today's game. We had for the USC, or I said for the UFC. For UFC, we had Kennedy Smith. Kennedy Smith had 12 points, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. She shot 4 for 14, 35% from the field. On South Carolina's end, we had a couple top performers here. We had Joyce Edwards, 17 points, 10 rebounds. We had Tessa Johnson, 14 points. She was 2 for 4 from 3 and 50% from the three-point line. And then we had Tanaya Ladison, 12 points, 6 for 14 from the field, 42%. Raven Johnson, who, in my opinion, was today's MVP or the game MVP. She had 14 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and she was 2 for 3 from the three-point line. Now, let's jump into the team stats. This was a really good game, but starting off with the team stats, South Carolina shot 4 for 10 from 3. They were 40% overall from 3. They had 56 rebounds, 21 offensive rebounds, and then they had 44 points in the paint, which is ultimately how they won the game. I'll jump into that in a second when I do my recap. For USC, they shot 1 for 14 from 3. That should tell you a lot just there, them shooting 1 for 14 from 3. They had 32 total rebounds, and then they had 10 offensive rebounds to South Carolina's 21. And they only had 28 points in the paint. Crazy thing about this was South Carolina had 17 total turnovers, but they still end up winning the game, even though they won the turnover battle, meaning they had more turnovers than USC. South Carolina had held the biggest lead of the entire game with 17 points. I believe USC's largest lead was 2 points. And now I'm going to jump into the game recap. So let's start off with the first quarter. First things first, USC was not able to defend the paint at all. I just mentioned South Carolina scoring 44 points in the paint. USC struggled to guard the paint all game. They struggled to offensive rebound, which led to second chance points. The second quarter, USC really cut the game close. Towards the end of towards the end of the half, the team started to play a little bit better offensively, but they just couldn't keep up with South Carolina. I think South Carolina is just a better team overall, not just offensively. I think overall they're just a better team. Towards the end of the half, USC took their first lead, but honestly, I thought it was because South Carolina was a little bit gassed. South Carolina only played 8 players in total. So I thought they were a little bit tired, and that's when USC started to look a little bit better offensively and pick it up. They weren't doing anything special on offense, USC that is. They were running a lot of pick and pop because the jumpers weren't really falling in the first quarter. So they were running a lot of pick and pop, pick and roll, trying to get to the paint, just touch the paint in general and get some. Then starting in the third quarter, the action started to pick up from both sides, I will say. And here's the point that I wrote in my notes. I don't know why USC is not running their offense through Jazzy Davison. She's clearly the best player on the team, if not the best offensive player. I do think Kennedy Smith is really good, but Kennedy Smith is not a ball handler. She can't really handle the ball. She can't really get the offense set and get the offense going, but Jazzy Davison is really good at that. So I don't know why they don't run the ball with her and have more on-ball plays with her. She's good in transition. She's good at finishing at the rim. I guess she's just a freshman, but I just think, it would make sense to put more trust in her and have her run the offense. But, yeah, third quarter, South Carolina still didn't do anything special that jumped off the table to me. I think they just were a better overall team. They were knocking down shots. Their shots were falling. Their bigs were getting rebounds. And the biggest thing out of this is South Carolina has 2 really experienced guards. When you have Raven Johnson and then Tanaya Ladison, who was, I think, the offensive player of the year last year, averaging almost 30 points per game, it makes it pretty much easy for you. And then you have Tess Johnson who can shoot threes. It makes it so hard for the defense to collapse on certain or key in on certain people. And that's what USC kind of struggled with. They just didn't have the offensive firepower to keep up. And then defensively, they had to pick their poison. And there was nothing to really pick. They just couldn't do anything. And going into the fourth, South Carolina ran away with the game pretty much with ease. Tessa Johnson hit a couple big threes that changed the momentum. That gave all the momentum back to South Carolina. And South Carolina ended up winning this game. Battle of the real SC, 69-52, giving USC their first loss of the season. I do still think USC is a really good team, but, man, they are missing Juju. And they need to just let Jazzy Davison play freely and, give her the ball more and just let her rock out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you made it this far. I appreciate the support, and I'm out.